On the night of her wedding, Amara Ellis thought she had everything: love, security, and the kind of future people dream about. Her husband, Liam Sterling, was a billionaire with charm polished by power and a smile that could silence rooms. But when the doors closed and the guests were gone, he looked at her like a stranger. When she leaned in for her first kiss as his wife, he stepped back and whispered, "My body, my choice." That was the moment she realized her fairytale had already begun to rot. The city lights below flickered like restless stars. New York stretched out under the velvet night, and somewhere inside a gold-lit penthouse, Amara Ellis stood perfectly still in her wedding gown. The dress shimmered, sculpted silk hugging her brown skin, her reflection framed by roses and champagne glasses. She had imagined this night her whole life, the night she'd finally belong, be cherished, be touched. But when she stepped toward her new husband, he took a step back. Liam Sterling, the billionaire tech visionary with the calm voice and colder eyes, simply folded his hands behind his back. The smile that had charmed the world was gone. "Liam." Her voice cracked like glass. "What's wrong?" He tilted his head slightly, expression unreadable. "Nothing's wrong, Amara. I just don't want to be touched." For a heartbeat, she thought he was joking. The air hung heavy between them, perfumed with roses and disbelief. "I don't understand," she whispered. He exhaled, like a professor explaining something obvious. "My body, my choice, that's all." The words slammed into her like a wave she didn't see coming. She took a step closer, desperate. "We just got married. Don't you want?" "Please don't make this complicated," he said softly. "Love isn't physical for me. Love isn't physical." The phrase looped in her mind like a curse. The man who'd kissed her hand on red carpets, whispered promises about equality and forever, now stood inches away, refusing even her touch. A faint tremor ran through her hands. She tried to smile, to make sense of it, but every second widened the distance between them. "Then why marry me?" she asked, voice trembling. Liam looked away, his profile outlined by the city glow. "Because love takes many forms," he murmured, then turned toward the balcony, leaving her alone in a room filled with candles, untouched champagne, and a silence that hurt more than violence. Outside, the city kept moving. Inside, she was frozen in disbelief. Her phone buzzed, a flood of congratulations from friends, headlines already celebrating the billionaire and the beauty, a modern fairy tale. She stared at the words like they belonged to someone else. And somewhere in her heart, a quiet thought whispered, "Maybe the fairy tale was never meant for girls like me." She sat on the edge of the bed, gown pooled around her like spilled gold. The camera would fade out on her shaking hands, gripping the silk sheets as the sound of her breath echoed through the suite. "Hey, have you ever loved someone who made you feel invisible? Tell me in the comments, what would you have done if it happened to you?" The next morning, sunlight poured through the penthouse windows like it was mocking her. Golden, perfect, indifferent. Amara Ellis sat in silence at the breakfast table, wearing the same robe she'd worn the night before, untouched food on her plate, untouched ring on her finger. Liam scrolled through his phone, sipping coffee as though nothing had happened. "Did you sleep well?" he asked, tone smooth and polite, like a boss addressing an employee. She wanted to scream. Instead, she said, "Not really." He nodded, unreadable. "Jet lag. It'll pass." That's when it hit her. The same man who had once sent her love letters now couldn't meet her eyes. To understand why it hurt so much, you have to go back to where it began. 2 years earlier, Amara was just a marketing assistant from Atlanta. Bright, ambitious, always believing her heart could change the world. She was the only black woman in her department, the one who had to smile twice as wide to be seen half as much. Then came that charity gala. She was there to work the event, not attend it, balancing trays, checking media lists. And then she met him. Liam Sterling. Billionaire, philanthropist, founder of a tech empire built on clean energy. His suit fit him like wealth was his second skin. He'd asked her, "Why do you look so focused?" She'd smiled shyly. "Because someone has to make sure the show runs smoothly." He'd laughed softly, genuine, she thought, and told her she had the kind of mind people underestimate. For weeks, he sent flowers to her office. No cheesy lines. No flirting. Just notes like, "You inspire calm in chaos." He made her feel seen, not ogled, not exoticized. Seen. So when he said he wanted to build a life with her, she believed him. Her friends were skeptical. "He only dates women who look like you, Mara," her best friend warned. She'd brushed it off. He's different. Now, in the cold morning light of their marriage, she wasn't so sure. "Liam," she asked quietly, "when did we stop being real?" He looked up from his phone, blinking like she'd spoken another language. "What do you mean?" She hesitated. "You don't touch me. You don't even look at me the same." He smiled faintly. "You're overthinking again. You always do that." The words slid like a knife between her ribs, soft, deliberate, condescending. She forced a laugh, but her eyes watered. "If I'm overthinking, it's because you keep giving me reasons to." He stood, adjusted his cufflinks, and kissed the air near her forehead, not her skin, just the space before it. "Try to relax, Amara. You have everything women dream of." Then he walked out, leaving her with nothing but silence and the faint hum of city traffic. She had mistaken control for care, attention for love, power for protection. And now she was trapped in a cage made of gold, beautiful, expensive, and cold. But she didn't know yet. Someone new was about to enter their world. And she'd soon wish she had listened to every warning. It had been 3 weeks since the wedding. 3 weeks of silence dressed up as civility. From the outside, their marriage sparkled. Glossy magazines ran headlines, "Liam Sterling's new bride, the beauty and the billionaire." Behind those headlines, Amara Ellis lived in a museum, not a home. Every inch of the penthouse gleamed, but it was lifeless. Every morning, he left before sunrise. Every night, he returned after midnight. When he was home, he worked in his glass office. Doors closed, eyes on his screens. They spoke in polite phrases now. "Did you eat?" "Yes." "Good." That was it. That was marriage. And yet, in public, Liam was different. The gentle hand at her back, the charming laugh for the cameras, all performance. Every touch rehearsed. Every glance timed for flashbulbs. At one charity event, a reporter asked, "What's your secret to such a perfect relationship?" Liam smiled, answering smoothly, "Respect. We understand boundaries." Amara's forced smile barely hid the ache behind it. That night, she asked him what he meant. He looked up from his tablet, eyes cold. "You're uncomfortable with honesty, Amara. That's not my fault." "Honesty?" she snapped softly. "You mean distance. You mean walls." He turned away. "My body, my choice. You agreed to that." Her heart pounded. Agreed? When had she ever agreed to be unwanted? The next morning, she went shopping alone. The cashier recognized her instantly. "Oh my God, Mrs. Sterling. You're so lucky." Amara smiled weakly. Lucky. Yes. Lucky to be lonely in luxury. On her way home, she saw something that made her stop. Liam's reflection on a digital billboard, advertising his company. His slogan glowed beneath it, "Building connections. Empowering humanity." Connection. The irony tasted bitter. That night, she tried one more time. She entered his office, where he sat under a cold blue light. "Liam, can you look at me? Just look at me." He didn't. "I have work, Amara. Don't be emotional." She whispered, "I'm not emotional. I'm human." He froze for a second, then sighed, annoyed. "You're overreacting again." Her voice cracked. "You keep saying that every time I try to reach you." He didn't answer. He just closed his laptop and walked past her, without a word, without a glance, without touch. Then silence. But she wasn't imagining the change. Someone was coming between them, and soon, she would see her face. The first time Amara saw her, it was like watching a mirror crack. Quietly, almost politely, before it shattered. Madison Vale. The new PR consultant Liam said was just temporary. She was tall, platinum blonde, with a smile rehearsed for boardrooms and secrets. Amara met her during a corporate dinner, a sea of designer suits, champagne flutes, and forced laughter. Liam introduced her casually. "This is Madison. She's helping with my company's rebrand." Madison's handshake was firm, her eyes soft, too soft. "Wow," she said sweetly. "You're even more stunning in person, Mrs. Sterling." Amara smiled, but her stomach tightened. There was something in Madison's tone, admiration laced with familiarity. All through the night, Amara watched them. The way Madison leaned in just a little too close. The way Liam's eyes softened when she spoke. The way their laughter blended, effortless, unguarded. The kind of laughter Amara hadn't heard from him in months. After the event, in the car, Amara finally asked, "Do you know her well?" Liam didn't look up from his phone. "She's good at her job." "Why?" "Just seems like you're comfortable around her." He glanced at her briefly, smirked. "Are you jealous?" "Should I be?" He sighed, long, patient, patronizing. "Don't do this, Amara. Don't make everything about race or insecurity." Her heart sank. "I didn't say anything about race, Liam." "Didn't have to," he replied coldly, eyes still on his screen. That night, she lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, listening to the muffled sounds of him typing in his office. Every click of his keyboard felt like a heartbeat that wasn't hers. She closed her eyes, tried to remember the man she fell in love with. The man who'd sent her love notes, who'd said she made him feel grounded. Where did he go? When she woke up around midnight, he wasn't beside her. She tiptoed to the balcony door and froze. Liam stood outside, phone pressed to his ear, smiling, laughing. That low, soft laugh that used to belong to her. She couldn't hear the words, but she saw it. The tenderness in his posture, the one he'd never given her. "Good night, Madison," he said, before ending the call. Her chest tightened. She backed away slowly, breath shaking. The city beyond the glass looked like it was spinning. She didn't cry that night. She couldn't. She just stared at her reflection in the dark window, her eyes meeting her own, and whispered, "If he's hiding something, I'll find it." The following weeks felt like a performance Amara couldn't escape. Every camera flash became a weapon. Every compliment, a lie. The world adored the Sterlings. Online magazines called them America's most elegant couple. They didn't know elegance could hide emotional warfare. At events, Liam was perfect, charming, doting, his arm resting lightly on her back. But Amara knew the truth. Every touch was choreographed, every smile practiced. When the cameras vanished, so did he. One night, after a charity gala, Amara followed him into his office, her heels echoing across marble floors. "Liam, can we talk?" He didn't look up from his laptop. "Can it wait?" "It's already waited," she whispered. He sighed. "What now, Amara?" Her heart stuttered. "What now?" Like her pain was a routine. "I saw the way she looked at you tonight." "Who?" "Madison." Liam chuckled, shaking his head. "You're jealous again." "Don't do that," she said softly. "Don't make me sound crazy." He closed his laptop with a click that echoed. "Amara, I'm tired. You're turning this marriage into a witch hunt. Stop projecting your insecurities." "Insecurities?" Her voice cracked. "You refuse to touch me. You smile at her like she's your reflection, and I'm the problem." He stood, eyes cold. "You should be grateful, Amara. You're living a life people dream of." The words hit harder than any slap could. "Grateful," she repeated, like tasting poison. The next morning, a photo of them on the red carpet went viral. Liam smiling, Amara glowing. Caption: "True love never needs to prove itself." The comments flooded in. "She's so lucky. He saved her. She should smile more." Amara read them until the letters blurred. She threw the phone across the room. It shattered, like her last piece of patience. Later that day, she found lipstick on his shirt. Not hers. A bright coral shade she'd never worn. She held it up silently. Liam didn't flinch. "That's not what you think." "Oh really?" He smirked. "It's Madison's. She hugged me after a meeting. Don't start another scene." Her voice dropped to a whisper. "Do you even hear yourself?" "I hear a woman who's losing control," he said coolly. "You're embarrassing yourself." She stepped back, staring at him like she was seeing a stranger for the first time. "He's gaslighting you," her mind whispered. "And you're letting him." But she didn't fight. Not yet. Because deep down, she wanted proof, undeniable, inescapable proof of his betrayal. Love had turned into performance. Marriage into punishment. And soon, the whole world would know her pain. Because the next photo that went viral wasn't of them smiling. It was of him, with someone else. It started with a notification. A single buzz on her phone that split her life into before and after. Amara was in the kitchen that morning, stirring coffee she wouldn't drink, when her phone lit up with a message from her friend, Liana. 3 words, "Girl, check Twitter." She opened the app, and her world collapsed. The trending headline read, "Billionaire Liam Sterling caught in late-night embrace with mystery woman." Attached were photos, high definition, merciless. Liam's hand tangled in Madison's hair, their lips inches apart on a hotel balcony in Miami. Her breath caught. The mug slipped from her hand, shattering on the floor. For a moment, she couldn't move. Her mind refused to connect the images with reality. But the internet already had. Thousands of comments flooded beneath the post. Knew she wasn't enough for him. Black women always act like victims. She should have kept him happy. Amara's fingers trembled as she scrolled, the bile rising in her throat. Each word cut deeper than the photo. Within hours, gossip shows picked it up. Sources say the marriage was strained. Liam's team claims Amara has been emotionally distant. The lie spread faster than truth ever could. Liam came home that night to find her sitting in darkness, the phone glowing on the table, the photos paused mid-kiss. She didn't speak at first. She just stared. "Say something," he said finally, voice tired. Her whisper came like a blade. "You said your body, your choice." He blinked. "Amara," she stood, voice trembling. "But you never told me that choice included her." He rubbed his temples, sighing like the victim. "You're making this bigger than it is." She laughed. "It wasn't joy. It was madness. Bigger than it is? You humiliated me in front of the world, Liam." He snapped then, the first time she'd seen his calm veneer break. "Do you think I wanted this? You never understood me. You were cold, distant." Her voice cracked. "Cold? You never let me close enough to be warm." He turned his back. "It's over, Amara. Just stay quiet until the storm passes. Don't make this about race again." The sentence sliced through her. Don't make this about race. Every woman of color who'd ever been silenced echoed in that line. She whispered, almost to herself, "You said your body, your choice. But mine was never a choice. It was your trophy." He didn't answer. He just left, again. When the door closed, she fell to her knees, sobbing silently, her tears mixing with shards of broken porcelain. In one night, her marriage ended. Not with divorce papers, but with a headline. But she didn't know. The betrayal wasn't done. The world wasn't finished blaming her. Not yet. Hey! If you have ever watched the truth twist until it made you the villain, comment how you overcome it in the comment section. If you know what that feels like. The internet didn't just expose her. It devoured her. Within days, Amara's name was trending, not as a victim, but as the villain in someone else's story. Talk shows debated her tone. "She seems angry," one host said. Another added, maybe she wasn't meeting his emotional needs. Everywhere she looked, headlines, comment sections, gossip podcasts, her pain had become public property. They called her ungrateful, difficult, aggressive. The same words that followed so many women who looked like her. Brand partners cut ties quietly. Invitations stopped coming. Friends stopped calling. Even her best friend, Liana, sent a hesitant text. Maybe just stay quiet for a while. Let it blow over. Blow over? How do you let humiliation blow over when it stains your skin like history itself? She catches her reflection between them. Beautiful, broken, blamed. A group of tourists nearby whisper. One points. That's her, a woman says softly. The other laughs. He upgraded. The words hit like stones. She keeps walking. She ends up at the riverfront. Cold wind cutting across the water. City lights flickering on the waves. For a long time, she just stands there, clutching her coat, trying to remember the last time someone touched her without judgment. Her phone buzzes again. A new article headline, Inside the Fall of a Power Couple. Sources blame Amara's insecurities. She reads it slowly, then tosses the phone into her bag. Of course, she whispers to herself. Of course it's my fault. Black women are expected to be strong, to carry betrayal with grace, to smile through shame. And when they finally speak, the world calls it anger. Then silence. She sits by the window, the skyline glowing behind her, whispering to the night. If I were white, would they still call me bitter? Or would I just be heartbroken? Tears fall silently. The world outside doesn't notice. She wasn't just mourning her marriage. She was mourning how quickly the world believed the worst about her, and the best about him. But deep in that silence, something shifted. A spark. A pulse. A whisper from her own soul. They won't write the ending for me. She looked out over the city, her reflection faint in the glass. Not broken anymore, just waiting. Because one night, she'd find the proof. The truth behind the man who said my body, my choice, and what he'd really meant all along. It happened on a quiet Sunday morning. The city outside was calm, but inside Amara's apartment, the air buzzed with ghosts. She hadn't slept. Couldn't. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw them, Liam and Madison, laughing on that balcony, as if she'd never existed. But this morning, she wasn't crying. She was searching. She had gone to his old office to collect her things before moving out for good. The security guards recognized her face from the tabloids but didn't meet her eyes. They let her in without a word. The office was still exactly as he'd left it. The glass walls, the framed awards, the scent of cologne and arrogance. And there, on the desk, sat his old laptop. Open. Logged in. Waiting. Amara hesitated. Her reflection stared back at her from the screen. She almost closed it. Almost walked away. But something inside her whispered, don't leave blind again. She sat down and began to click through his folders. Then she found it. A folder named Partnership Decks. Inside were dozens of PDF files, corporate pitch decks, investor notes, PR strategies. She clicked one titled, Sterling Diversity Campaign 2023. At first, it looked normal. Charts, buzzwords, photos. Then she saw herself. Her wedding photos. Her smile. Her story, listed under the heading, Brand Positioning, Inclusive Success Narrative. Her throat tightened. She scrolled further. Excerpt. Liam's union with Amara Ellis reinforces our commitment to diversity and social equity. This marriage strengthens our corporate image across minority markets. Her pulse pounded in her ears. She opened more files. Emails. Notes. In one, a board member wrote, Optics are working well. Public loves the interracial couple angle. Another, from Liam himself. The inclusion message is landing better than expected. Engagement up 43%. Worth the push. Worth the push. Her marriage was a marketing strategy. Her love, a product launch. She slammed the laptop shut, breathing hard. The betrayal wasn't just emotional now, it was systemic. Planned. Profitable. Her whisper broke the silence. He didn't love me. He leveraged me. She looked around the office, the awards, the glossy photos, the world that had applauded him for his progressive love story. Her tears came slow, not desperate, like rain on stone. They weren't for him anymore. They were for every woman who had been turned into a prop for someone else's redemption story. For the first time in months, she didn't feel small. She felt awake, angry, alive. She picked up the laptop, tucked it under her arm, and walked out of the office without looking back. But exposing him wouldn't heal her. Not yet. Because before she could tell the world the truth, she had to forgive herself first. When pain has nowhere left to hide, it becomes truth. And truth, once seen, can't be unseen. Amara left New York that same week. No press statements. No dramatic goodbye. Just silence and a one-way ticket back home to Atlanta, the city where she'd first learned to dream before love turned her dreams into merchandise. Her mother's small house smelled of jasmine and old books. When Amara walked through the door, her mother didn't ask questions. She just pulled her close. No words. Just warmth. The kind of touch she hadn't felt in months. 4 days, Amara barely spoke. She cooked. She slept. She sat on the porch and listened to the rain. Healing, she realized, wasn't loud. It was quiet, stubborn, and slow. Then one afternoon, she opened her journal, the one she hadn't touched since her wedding, and began to write. She wrote about everything. The manipulation, the humiliation, the silence that almost erased her. Her hand trembled, but she didn't stop. When she was done, she read it out loud to the empty room. Her voice cracked, but she smiled through the tears. They told me I was lucky, but luck isn't love, and silence isn't strength. Those words felt like freedom. That night, she recorded a short video and posted it online. No filters, no makeup, no script, just Amara, speaking her truth into the lens. Not all cages have bars. Some wear wedding rings. I was someone's photo opportunity, someone's brand story. But I'm still here. I'm still whole. And this body, is my choice too. The clip went viral overnight. Women from everywhere flooded the comments. I thought I was the only one. You just told my story. I needed to hear this today. For the first time in a long time, Amara didn't feel invisible. She felt connected. Therapy followed. Speaking engagements. Each story she told helped another woman speak hers. Each tear shed was a bridge between strangers. One day, during a live talk, a reporter asked, "Do you forgive him?" She smiled, calm, grounded. "I had to," she said. "Not for him, but so I could stop carrying his shame like it was mine." The audience went silent. Then applause erupted, slow at first, then rising into something thunderous. And soon, the same world that mocked her would watch his empire crumble, one leaked email at a time. Karma doesn't knock. It just walks in quietly, carrying receipts. Months after Amara's video went viral, the internet turned its eyes to a new scandal, one that would change everything. Headlines began to appear, Sterling Tech under fire for diversity fraud. Internal emails leak, was the power couple a PR stunt? Those same files Amara found, the ones he used to market their marriage, had been leaked anonymously. The world finally saw the truth. Liam Sterling hadn't been a visionary. He'd been a manipulator, using her identity as a branding tool. His investors pulled out. His sponsors fled. His board forced him to step down. And Madison? Gone. Deleted from every company profile. The same talk shows that once mocked Amara now repeated her name like repentance. She warned us, one host said. She was the story all along. Amara didn't celebrate. She just watched the news quietly from her hotel room, sipping tea. Her therapist once told her that revenge isn't closure, peace is. But still, it felt good to watch truth do what silence couldn't. Soon after, Amara released her memoir, My Body, My Choice Too. The cover was simple, her silhouette against a sunrise. Within a week, it became a bestseller. During her first book signing, hundreds lined up. Women of every color, every age, clutching their copies, eyes full of tears. One young girl stepped forward and whispered, They told me I was too dark to be loved. But you proved them wrong. Amara smiled, signing the book slowly. You've always been enough. Don't ever forget that. Months later, she walked another red carpet. This time alone, not as someone's wife, but as herself. The cameras flashed again, but now her smile was real. When a reporter shouted, "Amara, any words for Liam Sterling tonight?" She paused, turned to face them, and said calmly, "Power was never his control. It was my freedom." The crowd fell silent. Her words echoed through the flashing lights, carried like poetry through the night. He said, "My body, my choice." But in the end, she made the only choice that ever mattered, to love herself. Stories like this happen every day. Women silenced, shamed, and blamed. If you believe truth should always win, subscribe now before the next story gets buried. And if you've ever rebuilt yourself from nothing, comment rise, so the world knows you're still standing.